Well, hello and good morning, students. I am your bio teacher Vikas Vats from Eklavya Educational Complex. My dear students, beginning of new thing is always amazing, and here I am talking about your new academic session. That means new chapter of your life, and you are going to face lots of challenges. So you have to make a strategy to face new challenges. Don't compare yourself with anyone. Everybody in this world are unique. Just try to work hard, achieve good marks and success in your life. Now my dear students, I am going to teach you the very first chapter of class 9th biology, that is cell. So before going to the topic, I am just asking some questions. What is this? This is a pen, and this pen is made up of plastic. Means this pen is made up of plastic matters, and this plastic matters is the constituent particle of this pen. Likewise, I am drawing some pictures. This is the picture of house, and this house is made up of different side walls and a proper roof. And this, when we are talking about this side walls is made up of bricks. When we adhere the bricks with the help of cement, the formation of wall takes place. So, the constituent particle of this wall is, or the smallest particle or the smallest component of this wall is bricks. Bricks. Likewise, when I am talking about unicellular to multicellular organisms, means when I am talking about either it is dog, cat, lion, plants, and even highly advanced animals like us, the body is composed of cell, and that cell is the constituent particles of our body. Even when we are talking about the cosmopolitan nature of bacteria, means the single cell organism that is also made up of cell. So, cell is the basic smallest structural and functional unit of living organism. Means if we are talking about unicellular organism, then their body is composed of single cell, and if I am talking about multicellular organism, means their body is composed of so many cells. But in both the cases, cell is the only basic constituent materials or constituent particles through which the body is made up of. Altogether, we can say that cell is the only and only basic, smallest, fundamental and structural unit of any living organisms. Now the question arises here that why this cell is known as a structural and functional unit of living organisms. So, when we are talking about single cell organism, for example amoeba, this amoeba is an unicellular eukaryotic organism. Means the body of amoeba is made up of single cell. And when we are talking about the highly advanced organism like us or elephant, cow, dog, whatever it may be, their body is composed of so many cells, means inside their body organ system level of organization will be present. So inside the body of multicellular organism, group of cells combine to form tissue, group of tissue combine to form organ, group of organ combine to form organ system, and finally the formation of organism takes place. So when we are going back to the body of the living organisms, when we are going back to the body of especially multicellular organisms, we can clearly observe that cell is the only smallest constituent particles through which their body is made up of, through which their body is designed. So we can say it as cell is the structural unit of living organism. Either it may be unicellular or multicellular, that doesn't matter, but cell is the only smallest structural unit of any living organisms. Now the second question is why this cell is also known as functional unit. Means in unicellular organism, suppose we are talking about amoeba, so their single cell performs each and every activity, either it is nutrition, digestion, transportation, excretion, reproduction, whatever it may be, that single cell perform each and every activity. And when we are talking about multicellular organism, there may be division of labor, because inside our body different organ systems are there, and different organ systems are composed of a particular cell. Suppose that when we are talking about the kidney, it is the excretory unit, and this kidney is made up of millions and billions of smallest nephronic cell or nephric cell. Means the smallest unit of kidney is nephron. When billions and millions of nephrons combine together, the formation of kidney takes place. And what is the function of single nephron? Same function will be of the kidney. So in both cases, either it is unicellular or multicellular, we can clearly see that cell will perform a specific function also. That's why cell is also known as functional unit. Now moving to the next topic. The next topic is the discovery of cell, and the credit goes to Robert Hooke. The credit goes to Robert Hooke. In year 1665, Robert Hooke discovered cell. He took a cork cell, which is a type of plant cell, and nature-wise, this cork cell is non-living. Nature-wise, this cork cell is non-living. This is the diagram of, this is the picture of cork cell, and nature-wise, this cork cell is non-living. When Robert Hooke put this slice of cork under primitive microscope, because during that time there were no any electron microscope or highly compound microscope will be there. So during that time primitive microscope will be there. By arranging the lenses on a particular angle, they will observe or they will magnify the smallest particles or smallest substance. So during that time primitive microscope will be there, and through this primitive microscope Robert Hooke observed a small room like structure, a small compartment like structure, and you can also say it as honeycomb like structure, the beehives of honeybee. So altogether this is all about the discovery of cell. So what is the discovery of cell means? In year 1665, Robert Hooke discovered the cell. He took a cork cell, which is a type of plant cell. Cork cell is a type of plant cell, and nature-wise this cell is dead. Nature-wise this cell is dead. So when Robert Hooke put this slice of cork under primitive microscope, he will observe a small hollow room-like structure or compartment-like structure or honeycomb-like structure. So the credit of discovery of cell as well as the credit of discovery of primitive microscope both goes to Robert Hooke. And this is all about the story of discovery of cell. Now, moving to the next topic. The next topic is cell theory, and this cell theory was given by the two scientists Skeldon and Swan. It was given by Skeldon and Swan. So according to Skeldon, all the plants and their parts are composed of plant cell and its product. And according to Swan, all the animals and their body parts are composed of animal cell and its product. What is the lacking point in their cell theory was they didn't explain from where does new cells are arising. And later on, the scientist Rudolf Virchow modified their cell theory and he laid out all the lacking things from their cell theory. And he modified the primitive cell theory which was given by Skeldon and Swan. And according to Rudolf Virchow, the new cell theory contained different points like all plants and animals are composed of respective cells and its product. Second thing, that is the most important, new cells are arising from pre-existing cell. New cells are arising from pre-existing cell. And the next point is cell division occurs to form new cells. And this cell division occurs in pre-existing cell to form new cells. And he put the virus on the verge of exception, because virus act as both living and non-living. When virus enters inside the host cell, they use the machinery of the host cell and behave like the living. And when that virus come out from the host cell, it acts as non-living. So we can also say it as virus is the connecting link between living and non-living, and it shows dual nature. That's why it is very difficult to recognize whether a virus is living or non-living. So Rudolf Virchow put that virus into the exceptional case of this modern cell theory. And the points which were given by Rudolf Virchow after the modification, so these points are included in modern cell theory, means it is known as what modified cell theory given by Rudolf Virchow is known as modern cell theory. So my dear students, this is all about the discovery of cell, definition of cell and the cell theory. So today this much only. and in very next class I am going to teach you the next topic. Before that, I am going to provide you the assignment, the notes, and I just hope that you start to make this assignment and the notes of this particular chapter. So thank you students, be safe and study well in your home.